Greetings and welcome to In Depth. I'm Dike Rostant. The Animae Caribe Festival started in 2017 and is one of the most important animation and digital media festivals in the Caribbean. Now, founding director Camille Selvon, she makes some time because it's already going on, but she joins us and she'll give us some insight as well as potential impact.
Yes. So, Dike, let me tell you, it's actually 22 years old. We started in 2001. So we are much older than you think.
I need, I need,
Yes.
I need to look at different write-ups. But talk to me, but even the fact that is that age
Yeah.
makes the first question a little more pertinent
Yes.
certain ways in terms of
Yes.
what was the lay of the land when you
Yes.
saw the need for this, or if this is the answer, what was the question? And I want to know how much the landscape has changed since then, please.
Right. So the reason I got into this is because I studied animation at the university, Goldsmith University in London. And I felt I wanted to come home to do this thing. I don't want to be in London. I spent 10 years in London. I love it, but I wanted to come home. But when I came home, strange enough, someone said to me when I came the first time, they said, listen, you're going to pack up your bag and leave in 3 years. And which was horrible to see, right? But that, you know how some people are, and they warned me that the landscape probably wasn't ready for animation. However, when I came, what I decided to do, I mean, they were right. It really wasn't ready. But what I decided to do was actually create an awareness. That's what I said. You know what? If we're not ready, let me create an awareness. So for me, I always say to people, I created Animae Caribe for a selfish reason because I didn't want to go back out. I didn't want to go back to London. I didn't want to go in the States. And I felt I needed to create an awareness of how powerful animation is and digital media and game, and what a lucrative career our young people can have. Now, way back in 2001, when we started, the kind of numbers were not what it is today. The game and animation numbers, you're talking hundreds of billions of dollars, and it will go up, up, up. It can only go up, up, up. So the genesis for it really was about, if we cannot, in my experience in Trinidad and Tobago, I was not able to learn animation in the schools. I had to leave the country to do that. And I didn't want other young people having to do that because one, they don't have the money to do it. And two, we could do it right here. So that was the basis for creating it.
And there are so many things that you said inside of that. I know I've beaten myself because I know what the Celebrating 22 Years is about on a t-shirt, but it feels sometimes as though we just say, okay, well, it can only be one thing. So
Yeah.
build out the ecosystem a little bit in terms of that range of possibilities and careers that people can go into, as opposed to saying, okay, well, I have to be artistic this way to be able to do that. Put that fallacy to bed for me, thanks.
All right. So actually, that's a great question. With the program that we have at the university, because I am also the head of the animation department at the University of Trinidad and Tobago. And with that, we try to get our students to kind of see exactly what you're saying. If you do this program, not 100% will come out as animators, but you could come out as graphic designers. You could come out as even filmmakers, because we learn the process of filmmaking, storytelling. You can come out as script writers. We also encourage new media because this technology is exponential. It is changing and shifting faster than you blink. So we actually have a course in there called Emerging Topics that we leave very open, because now you have artificial intelligence, you have augmented reality, you have virtual reality. So we definitely, for anyone listening here, a career does not have to only focus on animation if that's what you study. You can create content. There's a huge part of it for creating content. If you create your content, these things can be sold. Right now, YouTube right now, it's paying people directly for, the amount of, likes they get. The area for careers in this field is enormous.
And even though the opportunity is there. What do you see of people taking advantage of the opportunity? Is it still that you have a lot of people listening to the persons who say, well, you're going to leave in 3 years, telling people, no, don't do that? What sense that make? What kind of uptake is there?
Yes, so I'm sitting here, and right now in the Animae Caribe panel discussion, you have ePixel, which is a studio that launched last year in Tobago. You have Full Circle, which is a studio that is one of the longest running animation studio in Trinidad and Tobago. You have the Guyana Animation Studio that is on the panel talking about their development in Guyana for animation. You have Martinique Parallel 14 Studio, which is a training institution. I've almost seen like they were a seed in Animae Caribe 10, 12 years ago. They were here 12 years ago with just, a vision. This is what we want to do. And now they're sitting on a panel that I'm missing right now for you, Dike. I'm missing it. Where they are talking about their successes. They are bringing in foreign exchange. They are employing people. We just heard Jason Lindsay from Full Circle said that during COVID, he had to hire 60 people from all different Caribbean islands because people want content. They want content. Tap Factory, Tap Factory was funded by the IDB, and it falls under the University of Trinidad and Tobago. And so it's an outsourcing hub for our students to kind of feed into. Currently, that's hiring about 28 young people that came through the program. We don't have enough people. We actually have a problem, right? So your question regarding the change in attitude, I will share with you as a lecturer at the university. We used to have children coming to us saying they want to apply for the course, but their parents don't know because they don't believe in the arts. Now I have parents coming to me basically saying, I want my son to do this course. So for me, it is a whole 360. People are recognizing the power of this technology. They're recognizing that their children could have solid careers in here. And because of the fact that now people are working virtually, you can work from home and do work from any part of the world. So it's extremely, extremely exciting for people.
So we give thanks for your selfish reasons and the fact that you've created a bit of the reality that you want to see. And people say that the grass is greener where you water it. So in terms of watering it and seeing persons like ePixel and Full Circle on the panel, sitting on the panel, is that enough for you to sit on your laurels? Or is there more work to be done? And where would you like to see the work going?
So you know what that's such a great question, because I think one of the slowest institutions to understand the power of technology is really our government institution. I'm just saying it as it is. And I see just as how we held the hands of the oil and gas sector decades ago and say, right, we have to invest in this. We cannot expect the people to make gas, the gas, to dig for the gas. They put money there. And they held that sector hands for maybe 20 years or more because they know that it was new to Trinidad and Tobago. It is the same thing that needs to happen to this industry. There needs to be investment in people. People need to be trained. Now we have the university training, but right now the pace is so fast that we have to think about even faster training for people. We have to invest in people. We have to invest in the studios. We have to give a platform like Animae Caribe, which is an NGO. We are an NGO. We do this through going and trying to get funding from people. And a festival like this should be an annual thing that Trinidad and Tobago government supports 100%. They do support it, but it's not enough, right? So I would say an answer to your question is that we cannot sit on our laurels. We cannot. I think we have to, with the shifting world, the fact that artificial intelligence, it's going to take away jobs, without a doubt. I'm not fearful of it, but I'm saying it's going to take away particular jobs. These kind of jobs are not going to go away. People will always want to be entertained, right? So you're securing your kids or yourself into a future that is very solid. but we cannot sit on our laurels. We have to invest in our young people.
And there's a follow-on question, but I'll ask that on the other side of the conversation because I want you to be able to ramage with the answer a little bit. So we're speaking with founding director of the Animae Caribe Festival, Camille Selvon. Stay with us, we'll return with more. Welcome back. We're having a fascinating, well, I am fascinated, conversation with founding director of Animae Caribe, Camille Selvon, and looking at what is needed to help hold hands, build that transition. So there is an increasing awareness, but to be able to facilitate, that's the term I want. Is it a matter of creating a nexus where people outside of the festival, where individuals say, okay, but these are the players that are involved, whether or not I want to do a short internship, whether or not I need a registry for people who will be able to do voiceovers or other finite service providers. What are some of those things? And we can go low-hanging fruit to as far as you want to take it.
Right, and this was one of the things we did today. We called it the business of animation day, and we invited people just exactly how you said it. We put it out to storytellers, writers, musicians, people who have a book and want to take it from the book stage into the animated stage. And we said, come and meet these students who have been trained. Come and meet the Full Circle Studio, the Tap Factory, the ePixel, so that we could now start creating the content. We have Film TT here. Film TT has some funding options for film and animation. We have even TTT is being represented here because we know that there are options for creating content. So the local broadcasters we also try to bring here. So the idea is that, yes, we are saying that there are opportunities here, and Animae Caribe is actually almost like a agent for all these different companies. So you can come through us and ask us, and we'll put you in contact with certain people. If you're looking to take your book into animated content, we could put you in the right direction. We could put you onto students, because that is what is needed for us to make the next move. That exact thing you're talking about. What we are doing ultimately is creating a support system, an ecosystem that allows the creatives to be part of a project, and people who have the technical skills to kind of become a really uniting force to create that kind of content for the world, not just for the Caribbean, but for the world.
And that helps me segue into the next question so beautifully. One, creating content, stories that have a worldwide appeal, but at the same time originate from spaces that understand our nuance. Yes. You spoke about the appetite for content and how that has grown. People are looking for 60 people in one fell swoop to employ. How important is it that we are able to create content that tells our story? And I say that because there have been conversations by linguists and stuff, how the accents of individuals and spaces have been changing because of the footprint of the content that is being digested. So how do you weigh in on this?
So that is like our ultimate aim. Animae Caribe was created for that, so that we could have a foot in on the world stage, but without sort of watering down who we are. And that came from my experience at the university. I decided, I was like, listen, I'm going to use a Trini voice for my final film. I am going to find it. I'm going to put it in. And I grabbed my cousin-in-law and I said, right, you record, just talk. You're a Trini, you're living in London. That's what I want. And I did it. And my final film won the best film in the Royal Television Society award that year. Right. And I tell this story over and over. And it was one little lady in London when I had a screening that came back to me when she saw it. And she said, young lady, I my head was down and I was looking at a book I had in front of me. But when I heard that voice, I had to get up and look. And I say that to my students all the time. It's because of our difference. It's because of our uniqueness. It is because of this crazy accent. People come up to me and say, oh, wow, we love your accent. What do you do? That kind of thing. And I think that is part of even the social impact that Animae Caribe is also having, is the fact that we could say to young people, use your voice. You do not have to pretend to be American. You do not have to pretend to be Japanese. Use your voice, because right now, diversity is king. That is what people are looking for.
And the business day, there's a pitch. There's a pitch that's supposed to be happening as well. Give us a little info about that, thanks.
So, Dike, this could be happening right now, but I'm doing this for you, right?
Thank you.
Because it's part of our evening. And this was really exciting. We were contacted by an organization in the UK called Big Thinkers, and they love what we were doing. And they said they basically did a Big Thinkers pitch for Africa in the UK, and they would love to do a Big Thinkers pitch for Caribbean content. So we decided to work with them. We made a call out to people for ideas, and then the Big Thinkers team would select 5. We had 58 submissions from around the world and the Caribbean. So it had to be Caribbean oriented. So the people in the diaspora could also apply. We had 58 applicants. These guys were blown away, and they were only supposed to select 5. They ended up selecting 6 because there was so much. So right now they are on the stage pitching to the Big Thinkers team, and the winning pitch is going to be funded to go into production. The Big Thinkers team in the UK will take them through the process of creating a pitch deck, of going for funding, of creating a pilot, and then eventually get the funding to do a series. And that is coming right out of Animae Caribe Festival.
The importance of telling a story and telling your story and being different, but being universal. There are few people that I see in Trinidad and Tobago at this point in time. You just call some names and realize that obviously there's so many blind spots that I have. But I think everything Slide Pepper, dealing with turtles and stuff, Gem GFX, even the work that they would have done for A Better Tomorrow with Mark Loquan, featuring Miss Lyons, and even like the Jumbie. And I think there are 1 or 2 more others. But is it that we are trying to build critical mass so people think, well, this is the way that we should go? Or is there something else still waiting that needs to take place?
No, it started. So we've started. The giant has risen its head, and there's only one way to go, which is we will have content coming out of with the quality that we want. I would say in a few years' time. It takes a long time to get animated content out. We have interest from, for instance, we did our press conference yesterday, and we were able to talk about the fact that Marshall Montano's Boy Boy and the Magic Drum is going to be made into an animated series. We talked about, we had Ansem Douglas coming on live because he's creating a animated series called The Adventures of Spin and Scratch, which is about a family of mice leaving Brooklyn and coming back to Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, how fun is that, you know? So there is a trend that is happening now. And even the soca artists and people who don't normally get into film or animation are seeing that this is a powerful tool to tell their stories that they probably would have wanted to tell a long time ago, but just didn't have the resources to do it. They didn't have studios, they didn't have students to work with, you know. So I'm saying this to say that it has started. It started 22 years ago when we did Animae Caribe for the first time. But I would say the last 3 years is where we've been seeing that it's actually, you're seeing the outcome, you're seeing tangible outcomes.
And how do people follow the NGO, see the work that's doing, avail themselves for selfish or altruistic reasons?
So we are online, animecaribe.com. If you want to get in contact with us, we have a simple email, info@animecaribe.com. And we are very responsive because the festival happens now, but we do things all over the Caribbean. We did something with CARICOM called the Shift Project, where we went into prisons and we taught young prisoners how to animate. And as far as I know, a young prisoner is actually teaching other prisoners at YTC right now. So we are very accessible, and we really want to work with the public for them to understand that it is important that our young people become digital natives, or else they will be left behind. The world is moving so quickly when it comes to digital technology. So it is important that we get young people to start to speak that language and be part of it.
And hopefully we're able to have more conversations outside of the festival, so we have a little more time to do things in a slightly different way. But we want to thank you very much for the work that you have done and the work that you continue to do, Ms. Selvon, Camille Selvon, founder and director of the Animae Caribe Festival. And on behalf of the entire TTT News team, this has been In Depth with me, Dike Rostant. Thank you so much for joining us.